Good? Okay. Welcome to Rules, Enactments, Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Please stand for the pledge. Legislator Elner, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Legislator Elner?
Here.
Legislator Nasarino?
Present.
Chairwoman Edmuzio?
Present. Moving on to number 3 is acceptance of minutes, August 26, 2024, and September 12, 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to number 4 is a request to consider ARPA items. And we have Deputy County Executive Burpo here. You're there, okay. Before we do that, I have a question. I had sent a letter to the administration November 12th, and just for clarification, there is a clause on the proposed resolutions attached this evening on E and G, and it states, resolved that future ARPA fund reallocations from Putnam County ARPA projects may be done so administratively and put into the General Infrastructure Design Services category. And my question was specifically, what does administratively mean here in this clause? And to please provide an explanation of the General Infrastructure / Design Services category. So, can someone come up and speak on that? Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Chairwoman.
Good evening.
Hi, Jen.
Good evening.
How are you? Very good.
I'm glad you're taking this one first.
Yes.
The administration responded with a memorandum attempting to explain that category. However, after reaching out to both yourself and other members of the committee, you all made helpful suggestions and very valid points regarding legislative approval and involvement, and we took your advice and consulted with some of the members of the ARPA committee and DPW, and we thought it prudent to specify a project for the committee's consideration tonight.
For tonight, okay. And what about moving forward in the future?
I don't think that would be necessary because we requested certain project categories to be reallocated into that general infrastructure project category, and those would go into the project that we're requesting tonight. So it would be a one and done.
Right,
And anything future would go through the normal channels where we would come for legislative approval.
okay, so specifically, that's going to be for items E and G this evening?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from the committee?
No, we spoke this afternoon, and you provided some clarity to the process, and I said that I agree that time is of the essence with December 31st quickly approaching, and it will give you the ability to move on these quickly.
Very good, yes.
So with that being said, we'd like to request that the projects that we're requesting to go into that project category called general infrastructure, then be reallocated to paving projects. They are ARPA compliant, they are pre-approved capital plan projects, and we can encumber the funds immediately.
Yes.
Through the chair. Tommy, have you been consulted and you're good with the specific paving projects? Thank you. Pave,
A lot
baby,
of
pave,
paving,
right?
a lot of paving needed. What's the cost for paving now? A mile?
The old million a mile is the,
Million a mile.
but we're getting a lot more mileage out of our million sections right now.
Yeah.
I have a comment
Yeah, sure.
on that. I just met with DOT yesterday, and it's $750,000 a mile per lane. So if you have a four-lane road, it's 750,000 per each lane. And when you think about Region 8, which is what we are in Putnam County, we have over, okay, how many miles is it to San Francisco? Go to San Francisco and back twice and add some miles, and that's how many miles of paved roads we have in Region 8 that DOT has to take care of.
Yeah.
So I'm fully in favor of allocating these funds to highway for
Absolutely.
road improvements.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody you talk to in the district realizes that it's like in a third world country here in Region 8 and in New York with the way the roads are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for explaining that. We're going to 4A, which is the approval Sheriff's Office ARPA funding reallocation to Camp Hurlick. Would you like to speak on that?
Sure. Again, the overarching concern that brings us here this evening is to timely encumber all of the ARPA funds by the end of this year to compliant ARPA projects. And there was $1 million of ARPA funds that the sheriff had allowed to be reallocated to additional projects to support Putnam County school children. And it's the administration's position that the best use of this $1 million in ARPA funds would be to fund a new building at Camp Hurlick, which is located on a county-owned property, as it supports Putnam County school children through its before and after school childcare and summer camp. And most notably, they provided free of charge childcare to first responders' children during the pandemic, which seemed in line with the basis for the ARPA funds. And also, there is a need at Camp Hurlick for Schwager Hall to be addressed. And we do know that many members of the legislature were able to visit that building and tour it and ask questions. And we still think it's the best use of those funds.
Okay. Yes?
I'm all for replacing Schwager Hall. I understand what's going on, and it's something that we're not only need to do, we're obligated to do. My problem is there were some specific questions regarding the design of the building which I posed, and they've not been answered. So my preference is not to allocate ARPA funds for this use, to move them to the suggested use which you provided, the Axon body cameras for the Sheriff's Department, and do the Camp Hurlick, I'm going to use the term upgrade, without having to rush it, get all the information, process it properly, do it properly.
And just to be clear, that it doesn't mean that we are not supporting Camp Hurlick. It's just the use of the ARPA funding for that particular project.
Understood.
Yeah.
So I have a few comments that I would like to make.
Sure.
I think it goes without saying that we all are cognizant that the property is leased to Camp Hurlick, but it's county-owned property, and thus we are responsible to maintain it and to make sure the structures are safe. I said, but I have also been supportive of the project, but also shared my concerns about allocating the $1 million of ARPA funds for this project. And while it was deemed appropriate from the consultants for the AARP funds to be utilized, I still have reservations about applying this money to this project whereby there is 120 children in a for-profit, before-school and after-school daycare program, which to me doesn't constitute the school safety parameter. Although, and I know we could agree to disagree on that, but that has been my reservation all along. I have cited many questions and concerns. I'm going to refer to my notes. In a memo to the administration dated September 7th, I received a response on September 12th that was generic in nature. I resent a memo on September 17th, reiterating all my questions and concerns, and received a very comprehensive memo back from John Tully, Commissioner of General Services. While his memo addressed many questions, there are still many issues that are unresolved and have yet to be determined. And I'm concerned about the potential risk and additional expenses that might be incurred. So therefore, I will not be supporting the use of ARPA funds for this particular project tonight. We received no additional correspondence since September 27th, but just to speak to some of the salient points of the memo, Mr. Tully indicated we would be responsible for providing $1 million of ARPA funds, and anything above would be the responsibility of Camp Hurlick. He noted that it was made clear in the letter of intent and would be stipulated in the contract. So far, Camp Hurlick has committed only $250,000 to this project. To the best of my knowledge, a letter of intent is not binding, and we do not have an executed contract to date. He also noted that inquiries were made to planning and law to determine whether site plan approval with the town of Patterson is required or whether the building would be exempt. We received no word regarding this matter. It was also stated, quote, "We anticipate no issue," God bless you, "obtaining DEC approval prior to bidding, and no issue with DEC regarding the upgrade of the septic system. However, that is still to be determined by the New York State DEC, and there are no certainties associated with that. I question whether ARPA funding was perhaps taxpayer dollars as well to increase assets pose a risk of gift of public funds to a not-for-profit. Will the county funds be in violation of the gifts and loan clause of the State of New York Constitution? Mr. Tully indicated that this question was sent to the Law Department for review, but to date we have received no response on that either. Mr. Tully also stated that if we do not approve the bid, the ARPA funds could be reallocated after December 1st, only if the parties agree to terminate the contract in accordance with the U.S. Treasury. I personally do not feel comfortable approving these funds under these conditions and putting these funds at potential risk. I would rather see that this project be realized using capital funds and would seek to reallocate the funds to the Axon Officer Safety Technology Project and the Youth Borough Project, and I will be supporting that this evening.
Thank you, Legislator. Would you like us to respond to some of your
You may, because-
pending inquiries?
Yeah, maybe things have changed since September
Well-
22nd, 7th, but I haven't, not to my knowledge.
Although he wasn't informed to opine on this subject, Conrad Pasquale is here from the Law Department, and some of those questions were forwarded to the Law Department. The first one I'd just like to address is that we don't have an executed contract because we cannot have a contract in place until the legislature.
I realize that, but that still poses inconsistencies as we move this forward using those funds with still things still in limbo.
Well, we can't enter into the contract until it's approved, so. And then regarding the site plan approval, I would defer to Attorney Pasquale on that one. And then regarding the question number 9, taxpayer dollars to a risk to not-for-profit, the gift and loan clause inquiry. Per the terms of the lease, the property and any improvements are county property, and the Law Department confirmed that, so they don't believe it would be in violation in that.
That's great. We just did not receive a response, and that was not addressed in the memo that Mr. Tully said. He said he was deferring to the Law Department, deferring to planning. So the legislature has not received anything concrete since that memo. So I had to bring that up because it's still outstanding issues. Again, it still poses, it's a risk, and I think we can get this project done, realize this project using capital funding. It's, and avoid any possibility of risk for losing this money should things not go according to plan. We really can't specifically say the DEC will move along swiftly. We can't specifically say that the DEP will say we have enough flow and that we don't need to upgrade the septic system. We don't know the answers to these questions, and all of these are not consistent with trying to move forward with a formidable plan. They're also, when you speak of the contract, we realize that, but again, we can't hang our hat on a letter of intent. It's not binding. So we don't know what is and what isn't, what if there is more money that's incurred for this project and Camp Hurlick does not pay for everything that was specified. And that's just my personal opinion, that I don't feel comfortable moving forward with something with a lot of question marks still attached to this whole project. But I am very supportive of it. I realize it has to be done, and these improvements are our responsibility. But we could realize our goals and bring this to fruition using the capital funds rather than the ARPA funds. So that's where I sit.
Anyone else? Any other legislators? Legislator Montgomery.
I think I understand that the Axon Safety Technology and the Youth Bureau reallocation project has already been allocated. We've already allocated funds for that. It's been approved. We voted on that. It's done. I see the Camp Ehrlich project as a project that can benefit the entire county. They're providing a service that is sorely lacking throughout the country. I don't know if you're aware of the child care crisis that we face. I think we just talked about Pattern for Progress allocating resources for the great work that they do in their reports, and one of their reports is the child care crisis. And it would be great if we could read that, but just it's throughout the news. It's in every report that I read. And Camp Ehrlich provides this service. They provided it, in a great way during COVID to our first responders. I think, many people in this room might have kids who actually go there when they have to go to later meetings or work late. I think government across the country is investing in trying to correct this crisis. It's a resource that even people in my district, they provide services for people in my district, even though, it's something that's in Patterson. It would be, odd for me to actually advocate for something in Patterson, but I strongly advocate for the funding of this. It's just an investment in the working people of Putnam County, and maybe it's something that can be expanded. We had no problem allocating ARPA funds $400,000 to buy bar stools for a for-profit organization that's making money in a county-owned building. We had no problem allocating funds for a wedding venue and a bar stools and, just crazy things like a golf course, but we're not investing in something that the people of this county desperately need. So I will be voting no, because we already have the funds for Axon and the Youth Bureau. We've already done that. This is something that we can plan for the future of the working people of Putnam County. And it's a shame that you're not considering it.
We're not saying we're not considering it. We believe it should.
Crisis.
We believe it's going to need it. They do need that.
It's allocated
Yes, Legislator Yonke.
Yeah, I'm in favor of, we certainly need to invest in Camp Ehrlich. I'm all in favor of that. I would like
Yes.
to clarify something. Legislator Montgomery talked about bar stools and a bar. That $400,000, the initial allocation of ARPA funding, we took a lot of heat for it. It was for asbestos remediation. There was
Sir, I have the
nothing,
invoice
there was-
right.
Let- let's have order.
Go look at the resolution.
Do you want to see
Go
what
look
we
at the
actually spent
resolution.
it on?
Go
Look what we spent it on.
Look at
Enough.
the
Look what we
resolution.
spent it on.
Look at the
Look what we
resolution.
spent it on.
I didn't
He-
approve that.
Legislator Yonke, you have the floor.
Thank you. To be clear, if everybody would remember,
Mm-hmm.
we allocated the $400,000 for asbestos remediation.
I remember that clearly.
That was the
Mhm.
resolution. How the money got spent another way, I'll leave it to other people
Mm-hmm.
to talk about that. But that's what the money was supposed to go to.
Yes, and I specifically
And
remember
I'd
that.
like to,
Mhm.
you know, that's the fact.
Yes,
That's the fact.
I agree. Go ahead.
You had no problem spending and
Uh,
allocating.
Okay.
Through the chair, please, through the chair, through the
You
chair,
don't know what the guidelines were.
through the chair. Legislator Nasarino.
But I think 120 children do not constitute, the greater amount of
You never
majority
do.
for.
You never do, even if
Right,
it's one
I do,
person.
but it's a small number that is
Yeah,
being taken
and
care
they
of.
don't
But
matter in
I'm
your mind.
I'm sorry, but I am speaking, so you have to continue to stop interrupting everyone, because you're out of order. It's not reflective of, I'm not disparaging it, but it's not reflective of a huge mass of attempting to alleviate this crisis. And we realize that it may be a crisis, and daycare is something that's difficult to obtain and expensive for parents. And I applaud Camp Hurlick for hosting this program, but it is for-profit. He does charge for it, and he maybe not did during COVID, but that's not relevant to what we're considering today. And the fact remains that we are moving forward with the project, but we feel that it would be I feel that it would be in our best interest to use the money from the capital fund. So it doesn't matter, it's getting done, it's just what pocket do we choose to use to get this done? And that's the consideration before us. We don't have to go off on a limb and talk about a million different things. We're looking at which way we're going to fund it.
And it will be funded.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify. So we're going to fund it, which is great. I'm concerned a little bit about the safety. I think everybody here has visited it. How much longer can it go on operating the way it is in that condition? This is something we probably need to get on pretty quickly, right? Because the roof and the snow scare me. They make me nervous, I'm not going to lie. So I hope that we do act on this quickly and swiftly, and I understand
Right.
it's coming out of a different pocket. I'm
Right.
just talking about the safety of it, because it is our property.
Through
and
the
it is
chair,
something that we are
right, through the
required
chair.
to.
And speaking,
No.
speaking on the safety of it, this would be a quicker way to alleviate the problems that they have there at the building, because if you're doing the ARPA funding, there can be some issues. So,
Right, no, it's just going
Okay.
to echo what Chairman Anastasio said, that, either way, it's not going to slow down the project. Either way, we're going to move forward with it. And, but we really can't determine how long it will take, because we really can't determine how long DEC is going to take. And most of our experience has been a long and arduous process. So I would be pretty shocked if it moved along as quickly as those have indicated it will.
For me, this is just a timing issue. Okay? I intend to fund Camp Hurlick for the full requested amount. That's my position. But the ARPA funds, we may not encumber them completely properly, and to me, it's much more relaxed and less risk to get the funds necessary to do the work at Camp Hurlick from another pot of money. That's all. Because like I said, there's a lot of open questions.
Well, what if the scenario is the bid doesn't work out? The bid is too high?
Comes way over budget.
Then we're saying, and until both parties agree to terminate the contract, that's the only stipulation to be able to reallocate that fund. We're putting ourselves at risk of losing this money because we can't answer all the what-ifs in this process. So this would be the safer, less risky way to move it in a positive direction, get it done, and to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Make a motion.
agreed, yes.
So, if I may, we've had late add-ons, as late as, mid-afternoon today to this. So could I propose to this committee that you pass a resolution tonight to allocate those funds that you say are coming out of some other pot of money for this project? That we've been talking about this since before September. Winter's coming. As we know, construction costs will just continue to go up. And as you sit around and wait and claim that you're gonna do something about this and haven't done anything, since I think you pretty much knew you were not going to allocate the funds for this from the very beginning, so what's your solution? And can you pass a resolution now to address this?
Well, we
don't
don't
think
have a
this is the
resolution in
appropriate
hand,
spot. Rob?
but
Isn't that go through physical?
Through the chair, I believe it would be physical. The reason this is before rules is
It's 'cause it's ARPA.
Because of the ARPA funding. Yes. We'll be moving as quickly as possible for this.
It's been in front
Ledger?
of the legislature, and the chairman of the physical committee certainly has known about this, so, hopefully we'll see a resolution. Can we say we'll see a resolution on the December physical?
If I may?
Yes.
Very simple questions I put forward well over a month ago. I wanted to know, what's the square footage of the building? I want to know, what is the building going to look like? We don't even know that yet. So,
It's just interesting to me, you guys ask all these questions now, but when it came time.
excuse me, I asked these questions in writing.
Through the chair, please.
You're holding weddings for well over 100 people.
You're out of order again. Out of order. You have the floor. Please proceed.
I just want to know what it's going to look like. Is it going to be bigger? Is it 2 stories? Is it 3 stories? Is it 4 stories? Is it going to be a cedar shingle building? It is going to be a redwood building? I just want some details. And I don't think that's asking too much, and that's something that we'll go through physical. But right now, we have nothing but a blank slate, and I like to start filling in the blanks. And I have spoken to DPW about this. Okay, I understand what's going on and what the problems are in terms of shoring up the floor, that it doesn't make sense to repair this roof, that we really need to take the structure down. The other thing which creates a problem is we have to get approval to take this building down at the same time we're building the new building. So it's not as simple as everybody says. We just need some questions answered. And I'm going to defer a lot of this to DPW so we can get this thing moving. So as far as getting a resolution, I think it's preliminary. But I can tell you I absolutely intend to, and as soon as we can get the necessary information to come up with a proper conceptual project, I'll be more than happy to put it on the agenda.
Legislative Sage,
Thank you.
you've had your, I know, sorry.
We have some really great projects here in front of us to use ARPA funds for. I went to Camp Ehrlich and I did a tour, and we spoke to the director. I also went to the Sheriff's Department and I had an overview of the Axon project. They're both fantastic projects. I careful consideration of both projects, but what Legislator Elner was talking about is Camp Ehrlich deserves a deep dive and a lot of consideration. We need to know exactly what we're doing in front of us. This is a building that either needs to be torn down or repaired. We don't have any thorough plans for this particular project.
None.
We have no plans for this project. We have no idea what the total project will cost. We don't know if this $1 million is just a tip of the iceberg, and is Camp Ehrlich able to raise the rest of the funds? I think it deserves a lot of consideration, and I'm not willing, for me personally, to throw $1 million out to a project that I don't have any information about. The Axon project, I think, is fantastic. It's I had the opportunity to go to the Sheriff's Department to go through the software, and I think it'd be beneficial. I spoke to the officers who were there, and they all thought it was a great project. And it supports public safety, and it also supports school safety because it's a virtual project. So I'm in favor of funding both projects, but right now I would hold off on Camp Ehrlich until we do a deep dive and further consideration.
Thank you.
Right, I believe we just have conceptual plans, so there's nothing really perfected at this point in time, and there's just a lot of what-ifs, and there's just a lot of scenarios, and we don't really know what the outcome's going to be until we walk through the process. And this would give us the flexibility to do so with peace of mind.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve? 4A? Nope, seeing there's no motion. Move on to 4B, and the administration does have alternative suggestions, and 4B is the approval of the Sheriff's Office ARPA funding reallocation for the Axon Officer Safety Technology Project and the Youth Bureau relocation project. So the administration proposed $800,000 be reallocated to Axon Officer Safety Technology Project, and the remaining $200,000 of the funds to be reallocated to another county project, which is the relocation of the Youth Bureau project. Any discussion on that?
I just have a question for Michael Lewis. So if we allocate the ARPA funds and the Axon was in the budget, this would offset the budget, so that would be an advantage. Is that not correct?
Correct. We put in about $325,000 for 2025, which represents about 11%. So by putting this $800,000, we can now defray that 325, and then the difference can go towards future budgets. So then you wouldn't have to use taxation in 26.
So
And you have to spend them by 26 anyway. So it's actually, it's about 30% of the overall contract. So this is good for Putnam County. It'll free up the $800,000 to be used for other projects like Camp Hurley.
So it's a
No.
cost-effective measure.
Correct.
Now,
Okay,
the
just
I'm sorry.
clarify that for
course.
Legislator Montgomery's comment.
So the $800,000 that will be now used for the Axon, what percentage of the contracts will that?
So that 800, so the total over a 5-year span was $2.9 million. So this is approximately 30%, which would cover the first two, amortization payments.
So
for 20.
this was really needed, then. This is very important.
It's important in regards to, using, ARPA-eligible dollars and freeing up that capital money that we were going to use anyway, and we can use that now.
So now we can
For
use that
Camp
for Camp
Ehrlich.
Ehrlich. So
Correct.
we have 350 found money for Camp Ehrlich toward their
Yeah.
project, yes.
And if I may, to Commissioner Lewis, the same thing, the $200,000 for the Youth Bureau relocation, we already have $125,000 in the capital budget.
Correct.
So we're going to be freeing up that $125,000 in addition to the other funds.
Right.
Okay, so we just found $475.
Excellent. Okay. I like finding money like that. That's good.
So do I.
Okay. Anyone else? No? Okay. So I make a motion to approve.
Second.
4B. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4C is the approval of Putnam Cap, Westcop, ARPA funding. I'm sorry,
Oh.
what? Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, so I would like, for the audit committee meeting, I would have to then propose a budgetary.
Okay. So for 4B, you're saying?
Correct.
So go to audit.
We held off because we didn't know the position of the legislature. I just wanted to, now that we have that, we can move forward with the budgetary.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I need to approve that, or just, do I need to approve that for the go to audit? It's just, no, it's, okay.
Through the chair, I think it has to be submitted.
To the-
It's not a full committee right now.
Okay.
No, Diane.
Oh, I'm sorry, Diane, I wasn't,
Question for council, can we approve it, the budgetary in concept? This way I can keep it together on the voting agenda of the full, if it passes out of audit? The budgetary.
If the committee has enough detail to consider the budgetary and they want to add to the agenda as other business, that's what they do.
or just approving it in concept if it is approved in audit? Then I can just keep the two resolutions near each other on the rules for the vote.
Yes.
As long as the concept is sufficiently detailed that you know what you're voting on,
Mhm.
I would
Okay.
presume so.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll amend
So I think-
that.
That you would include that are not already
No.
in here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Budgetary tomorrow?
Yes, I can do that.
I don't know, I'm just asking, can that be done?
Yes. I can prepare a budgetary, and you guys can add it as an other business for audit.
Okay.
Yep.
So I don't need to amend this then.
Amend the motion to move it in concept to audit.
Okay. I amend the motion to move in concept to audit. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
It's the budgetary.
Budgetary, to move the budgetary to audit.
Okay.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 4C. So Putnam Cap was allocated $130,000 of ARPA funding pursuant to Resolution 135 in 2022. They have requested the use of these funds originally approved for a mobile food pantry, that it be reallocated to another project that should benefit the county. The ARPA committee has requested the funds be reallocated to administrative expenses associated with ARPA accounting and compliance. Commissioner of Finance and County Auditor have confirmed that the use of these funds for administrative expenses is an existing, pre-approved use of ARPA funds. That's pretty straightforward.
Right, yeah.
You want to speak on that? Any
Yeah, so,
add to that?
yeah, so as we're,
Regarding
yeah, go ahead.
CAP, they were very grateful of the funding and that the county had picked them to institute the mobile food pantry. However, due to their circumstances, it was not feasible for them and would have, in fact, potentially caused a hardship for them, so.
Yeah, too bad, because that would have been great. Really would have supported that. But too expensive. Okay. Legislator Montgomery.
Thank you. What administrative expenses are we reallocating this to?
This would be our ARPA consultant that we now have on retainer, you know, that all these projects. They look at every single, besides these letters, they look at every single voucher that we get, whether from the subrecipients or internally, because it's inevitable we're going to get an audit at some point, so,
And they assist with outreach to all the towns and villages as
Correct.
well. And
Big job.
compliance with those.
yeah,
Oh, the back office work.
correct, they do a lot.
Yes.
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 I would recommend that the committee edit this resolution to specify that's what the administrative expenses are for. Very broad term. And you are,
With the
Specified in your budgetary.
it just says administrative.
administrative expensive associated with accounting.
Administrative expenses
with-
by the county.
It says with ARPA accounting and compliance, so I think that's,
Jan-
yeah.
If I could just, actually on, when we go through agenda item 4F, that the budgetary will explain what the funds are for.
Okay. Any legislative sage?
I have a question, and maybe this is out of left field. However, this was originally supposed to be used for mobile food pantries for Putnam Cap. I recently spoken to a food pantry in Mayapack, and they are $30,000 in the black. I mean, in the red, I guess they're $30,000 under. And they serve quite a huge population here in Putnam County. I don't know what the possibility would be to allocate $30,000 for the food pantry instead of going to administrative services. People who are standing in line waiting for food.
Is it too late? I think it's to bring that forward for any type of, there's a deadline?
There would be a time
Yeah.
crunch in vetting a brand-new project, although that sounds like a very, you know, worthwhile cause.
Veterans,
Mhm.
Veterans Day, $30,000 in debt. Short, not in debt, but short. They have a shortfall.
Sure.
Well-
Before the holidays, so.
I think it's for ARPA funding, unfortunately, at this point, we're short on time to vet a brand-new project to a new subrecipient. There would need to be a subrecipient contract in place, and I think we're a little short on time for that at this point.
Yeah. unfortunately.
Perhaps we could consider funding for that organization through another mechanism. Sounds like a good cause.
If I may, you do have that sub-contingency for 2025 for outside agencies to consider.
We have a big ask for that pot, for that small pot. With the insulting for the agency's wage, we don't want to add new agency in there. You could put more in.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we have before us.
Does anyone else? Anyone else have any comments? Anyone from the public? Comments, questions? Okay. No? Make a motion to approve Putnam Cap ARPA funding. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4D is approval for Town of Patterson, ARPA funding, reallocation, sales tax allocation. The Town of Patterson was allocated a total of $1,181,656 of American Rescue Plan, ARPA funding, and sales tax in 2022. And they have requested the use of these funds originally approved for the Putnam Lake Dam pursuant to Resolution 133 and 134 to be modified to provide $234,940 to the EMS building project. And I see we have Supervisor Richie Williams here. Would you like to speak on that at all? Thank you.
So, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you
Hi,
for
Rich.
considering this. Yes, we had great hopes that some of the deficiencies in the Putnam Lake Dam could be cured with the ARPA funding. We did get a grant from the DEC to do the design work. Unfortunately, the DEC gave us 3 months to go into contract, do all the design work, and submit. Wasn't enough time to really get the design work done. Design work that came back from the engineer was not something I believe my community would support. It essentially required the whole dam to be resurfaced with concrete. So for that reason, we're not planning on moving forward to address the deficiencies in the dam at this time. We didn't want to lose the opportunity with the ARPA funding, so we're reallocating it to a project that is currently out to bid. We expect that the bids to be awarded first meeting in December. We know we're on a solid time frame with getting that done.
Good. Sounds good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for coming out this evening. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I just wanted to represent the town of Patterson. I'm very happy to support this funding for the EMS building. It's a very important project for our town.
Absolutely. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Legislator Montgomery?
This is an EMS building in Patterson.
The
Yes.
EMS building project.
So, sorry, I don't know
No.
what your EMS building is. Again, it's like clarity on the resolution would be great. Can I ask what you're doing to your project, to your building?
A building.
We're building a new 3-bay facility for our EMTs. It'll be located on the Town Hall campus, right behind Town Hall. It'll have living quarters, training facility. Yeah, so it's going to be a very nice project.
I just would like to point out the irony. We have a building project, and I think it's great, and I think we have a building project that Camp Air Lake too, and we don't have the plans for that either, so. You know,
I have plans.
The irony of, well, we don't have them, but, yeah, the irony
have
is
plans.
that, you know, there's a lot of comment about not having proper information for Camp Air Lake, but
Well, that's why the dam he couldn't apply it to the dam project, because we didn't have this.
we're approving money that
It's already out to bid.
for
I appreciate Supervisor Williams coming out, and if the town wants to use funds that were allocated for a approved ARPA use, which this is, I'm completely in favor of it.
Okay. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to 4E, that is approval, reallocation for the golf course renovations. We had, the county was allocated $19.1 million through ARPA funding to provide certain government services, and a budgetary amendment was made allocating $400,000 of the ARPA funding in 2022 to carry out improvements McGregor Grill, Putnam County Golf Course. It has been determined that the ARPA consultant, that these costs are not eligible and will not comply to the guidelines set forth by the U.S. Treasury. The county wishes to reallocate the ARPA funds to the General Infrastructure Design Services Project category. And that's what we were discussing before, the new category. And that will be for like I mentioned, E and G. For E. Okay?
So will we modify this resolution for county-eligible paving projects?
This, can you speak on that, Mike? Did this here, or,
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
it doesn't
it's fair-
specifically say,
I think it's fair to alter the resolution to specify the projects, or there's another option, you could say to the general infrastructure project category to fund paving projects. You could put it all in there.
Yeah, 'cause it says-
We could submit it to
Yeah.
if we need to. But
I like that.
I think that's fair.
Because other ARPA eligible is very vague, so paving, okay, Yes.
Madam Chair, so
Yes.
if we can improve in concept on this,
yes.
take it to audit.
Okay, so that's what we could do, we'll change that, okay.
Why do we have to
Jen?
prove in concept? Why
Yeah, no, they just have to change the,
We just have to amend the
they're adding,
resolution.
to amend it.
Just have to amend it, correct? We just have to amend the
Yes,
resolution.
amend
We
it.
don't have to approve it in concept. Yeah. Can you read into the record what the amendment is?
So it will state, the county wishes to reallocate the ARPA funds to the General Infrastructure Design Services Project category to fund paving projects that are ARPA eligible. Correct?
Yes, sounds good.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, you'd also want to make a similar amendment to the resolved clause.
Yes, I was just going to say that on the bottom. Second to last clause also, where it says,
That's that whole,
is hereby authorized to be placed into a project category called Infrastructure Design Services with the intent for the funds to be expended on ARPA-eligible paving projects.
and the last resolved core
That's
clause needs to be
paving.
deleted.
Resolve the foreign use. Yes, the last resolve has to come out. So we're adding 2 paving and then removing the last clause.
If I made
Yeah.
the last sentence.
The last sentence, resolved that $400,000 from the general fund shall be used to fund the golf course renovations project expenses?
Right, because we've already spent that money. So in order to make that project whole, now it has to be a general fund
Oh, okay.
taxation
Okay,
contribution,
sorry, okay. Okay,
just like any other capital project. So really, what we're doing, we're just swapping the sources of revenue.
So what's,
yes.
to the chair, we'll be taking 400,000 out of the general fund to fund this project that we've already completed at the golf course.
Correct.
And this was, I think it's important for the public to understand the history of this. This was the first allocation of ARPA funds that most of the people on this legislature approved at the time when we were figuring out where to spend the ARPA funds. And I think as legislator Yankee pointed out, I did make a big stink because this was the first allocation this county approved was for $400,000 at a golf course where the, whole county is falling apart and our roads are falling apart and our county buildings like at Camp Ehrlich were falling apart probably at that time, but instead we bought 11 sets, bar stool and wood, pendant lightings, wall stands for the bar chairs, cabinet refrigerator for the back bar, beer bath lift for the gate at the back bar, a thermal slab with bluestone for the bar, mosaic stone for the bar, copper translucent tin ceiling for the bar, fire code sheetrock. Well, that's good. I hope we did that at Tilly Foster event space that doesn't have sprinklers and it's built above gas-powered farm equipment. aristocrat, crystal clear. You know, so this is what we spent ARPA money on, and it's already been spent. So now we're taking the money out of the general fund instead of funding a place where we can take care of kids.
You keep saying that, but we are going to be funding. We are going to be approving
When?
Camp Perilak.
See how long
You
this
keep
is
saying
gonna
we're not,
take?
and we are.
Too.
Okay, so we
How long
are,
we gonna wait?
so I make a motion now. Anyone else would like to speak to
Well-
4E? Yes.
Just to reiterate what Legislator Bianchi said, we approved the asbestos
Remediation.
abatement and remediation. We did not approve
Right.
what was just read into the record, and that's where it got snagged up, that it was used for something else, and that's why we're reconsidering this today. That we did not approve the use of ARPA funds for those bar stools and tables and whatever else she read
Right.
off.
Legislator Montgomery, you make it sound like we approved bar stools. And, no, we didn't.
No, we did not.
We approved
You're on the committee.
asbestos.
You're on the committee.
We
You're
approved,
overseeing
doesn't matter, we
That
approved asbestos.
wasn't what the resolution stipulated.
You're be micromanaging everything the administration does now. Why weren't you then?
We did not approve a resolution for the materials that you just read. We approved a resolution for the asbestos remediation, which was a necessary project and an approved project from the ARPA consultants, and that was designated to be appropriate. How this happened was something we found out after the fact. So let's be clear and stop spinning tales of woe.
So I make a motion to approve the amended, do we have the amended resolution?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4F is the approval for budgetary amendment, 24A110. This is ARPA reallocation, administer projects per the U.S. Treasury's 2022 final rule. Mike Lewis, would you like to embellish on this?
Yeah, this is just the budgetary that's in conjunction with 4C that we just talked about, taking the money from Putnam Cap and using that money for the administrative costs for PKF.
Okay. Very good. Any questions? Comments? Anyone from the audience? Questions, comments? No. Okay, make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to 4G. This is also Commissioner of Finance, County ARPA Projects Reallocation to amend Resolution 135 of 2022. So this also has, this is what we're talking about, that last clause. Can you explain?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Respectfully, this would be the one that we started out with that would need to be amended. The
Right.
language would need to be changed again to specify the paving project, so.
So we're gonna take that clause out, project category, saying general infrastructure design services for paving projects. Okay.
Maybe.
Any questions on that? Anybody? Any legislators? No? Anybody from the audience? No?
Jen made it clear.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the amended
Second.
4G. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 5. Number 5 is, the following recommendations have been made by the Plumbing Mechanical Trades Board at the August 8th and September 12th meetings, 2024 meetings. We have Henry Boyd, well driller, for a 3-year term expiring 12/31/2027. We have Homer Losey, or Losi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Losi, master plumber, 3-year term to expire 12/31/2027, and Christopher Lyons, 3-year term to expire also 12/31/2027. And the following recommendation has been made to the Plumbing and Mechanical Trades Board at the August 8th meeting to elect Russell Bleakley as chair and Robert Slate as vice chair. And again, I'd like to thank everyone that steps up to volunteer for these boards. Anyone else? Any- Legislator Montgomery. Thank you, thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
I think I had been asking for a bio or a resume or a letter of interest to be submitted for each person who, gets appointed to our various volunteer boards. I understand they're volunteer boards, and it's wonderful that people step up and volunteer. I think it's kind of bizarre that we do this year after year. A lot of new people go on the legislature. I'm not sure they're familiar with the people. I certainly am not familiar with them because I've never seen a resume or a letter of interest from any of the members of our various boards. And I think you actually sent a memo, Legislator
I did.
To all of the boards. So I'm wondering, you as the chair of this committee,
think
did you
I-
request resumes from these people?
I'm not, yes,
You have resumes, they were emailed.
Okay.
okay. That's what I thought. Yes, because I did ask. That was
we didn't
probably
see
last year. Huh? No, we didn't see them?
They were emailed to you.
Okay, you're not including them in the packets, or is that?
It's not for backup. I think
Right,
that
confidential.
Okay.
it's confident. I think we discussed that the last time, that it was not to be included because it is confidential. Okay.
And I believe they're all reappointments.
Yes, they are. Okay, I make a motion to approve. Number
Second.
5. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 6 is the approval approval of fund transfer for the law department to cover NYMER invoices through year end. Conrad,
Hi, Conrad.
how are you?
It's been well. It's been a while since I've been here.
Yeah.
Yes, we haven't seen you.
How's it going? I'm doing well.
Okay,
I'll do my best to get across what, to be honest, everyone probably knows the numbers better than I do, because I typically don't handle the financial part of these. But I have been briefed on what these two particular budget requests are regarding, and I do believe they're pretty straightforward. Number 6 is for judgment and claims that have already been approved by the legislature. They're just as of yet unpaid. And I believe I had a note that they were in connection with, well, I don't have the specific matters in which they are in connection. I know there were a few relatively minor matters, and thank you very much.
Was it pretty bad?
Oh,
The deductibles,
yeah.
it's total.
yes.
So there were deductibles, I see here.
Brown and Brown, this one was a
Yep.
vehicle one, I believe this one was a vehicle one. And yes, these are for matters that, again, have been already approved, they just haven't been paid out yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you for clearing that up.
Question?
Yes.
Conrad, if I may.
Yes, of course.
The sum of the invoices here does not total the 30,000.
That one I do have an answer to. There was a prior matter, again, I don't have the name off the top of my head, that there was an amount owed of $100,000, and apparently all of that money it's kept in the same source or budget line. I'm not sure exactly where the money is kept, but all of the matters are paid out of the same area. So several other matters came up to be paid, and the larger amount, I think is a total of $100,000, now has $96,000 because one of the newer matters was paid out first. So once that is all, I guess all the numbers will reconcile in the end, but unfortunately I don't have the specifics for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Audience, comments, questions? No. Okay, make a motion to approve. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have number 7, which is also fund transfer, Law Department, outstanding legal services, invoices not yet received the remainder of the year. That's an amount of $50,000.
Yes, and this one I do have a little bit more information on some of the specifics. In particular, it's the Arbin litigation.
Okay.
Now, I was surprised to find out the number that has gone into it so far to date, and they are billed, I believe, up to September. I don't believe they've given us an October invoice. The two other firms that we use typically for labor, personnel, and other matters, Gervin and Romer Wallens, those are up to date as of October. So we are expecting further invoices from them. Obviously, we don't have an amount, but the 50,000 is what we would need as of today.
And how much is left in that line?
I think 14,000 was the number I was told.
Wow.
Is-
14,000 after this.
No, so 14,000 currently, and then this will bring us to the next invoice and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if there's more to add on to this. I'm sure the legislature is much more aware that this is a highly complex construction litigation and probably know a lot more of the details than I do. But yes, it is unfortunately one of those recurring costs until it's settled or resolved.
Any
I just have a question for Mike Lewis. Do you know how much we are over budget for outside counsel for this year? Because this is $80,000 that we're requesting this evening, correct? And we just...
Two separate buckets
Okay.
of money.
Can you speak to that,
One
please?
is the judgments and claims. This one is legal services. There's approximately, like Conrad said, 15,000. We're going to put in an additional 50, which mathematically makes sense because I believe, I don't remember who said it, but their average bills, especially with this, is about 13,000 a month. So this will get them towards the end of the quarter, end of the year, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. Anyone else? Yes, Legislator Montgomery?
Overall question based on this and the previous item and the resumes, is it wise to have, I get it that we get this in an email, but is it wise to have the judgment and claims and the names of the claimants and the award to be in the backup for the public to see?
I mean, just from a legal perspective, if we're talking about judgments and claims that have already been resolved, that's public record. And it would have been part of the prior meeting from the legislature, it would have been already stated. So I don't think that would be, it wouldn't constitute ongoing litigation where there would be a reason to keep it confidential. I can look into that more if that's something that you want.
You know, based on if we're not even including resumes for people who are serving the county and the public, you know, should know who they are, and this is kind of, I know we it's a fine line for sharing this information. I get it that it's public record. We don't always share everything outwardly in the backup, and it's not you that's doing our backup material anyway. You would give this to us anyway in an email. It would be up to us to take it out of the backup.
No.
No?
It's supposed to come to us redacted.
Then how would we see it?
They're supposed to let us know what has to be. It's not
Okay.
our determination of what's
Not our
confidential and
council
what's...
doesn't?
No, it's not our
determine that?
determination of what's
Okay.
confidential or not.
Okay.
They should be letting us know.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions? No? Okay, make a motion to approve. 6? 7, sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to number 8 is the approval for contract for legislative counsel.
Motion to add the additional.
Oh, let me second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, here it is, sorry. This is... Do you have the additional, Bill, on number 8?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, okay. So this is, the term of the agreement was for 3 years commencing January 1st, 2022, and shall terminate December 31st, 2024. Under the terms of the agreement, upon mutual agreement by the parties in writing, this agreement may be renewed for 3 consecutive one-year periods, to be renewed 1 year at a time. And so we're here this evening to approve the contract for legislative counsel. Any questions?
Happy to
Anyone
support this.
Legislative, yes.
I'm happy to support this, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
Yes.
Is this the third year of the three-year
Mhm.
contract? The next year?
1 year. Yeah, then it's 1 year after that.
First year of the 3 years.
This is the second year?
This is the first year of the 3-year consecutive years.
The 3 1-years.
Correct.
Right. It's 3 1-year terms. Right. Okay. Legislator Montgomery?
So this appeared on the agenda when we got the agenda a week ago for approval, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But when did that agenda come out? A week ago? Thursday? But we just today received, we just today at, after 11 received the letter dated October 21st explaining, I mean, I think the newer members of the legislature aren't always aware that, I know that was new to me when I first got on the legislature. So my point is, we just got this at 11 a.m. today, a letter with the resolution with no contract. This isn't the contract, this is just the resolution, correct? This is the
Those are the
addendum.
clause contracts.
I'm sorry?
Those are the contracts and the addendums attached.
Okay, and we just got this at 11 o'clock today. And it's on for approval. Correct?
Yes, correct.
So why didn't we get this earlier?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Diane will answer.
Diane?
It was inadvertently not sent because when it first came, this is the first time this has been a renewal.
For 1 year.
So it was being reviewed by Michelle and purchasing.
So if it wasn't being renewed, we would go out, we would submit a request for proposals for legislative council, is that correct? What would happen in the event that we didn't approve
Receive
this?
it, if we didn't receive this today, you're saying? The additional?
No, we received it, but
No.
what I'm saying is, we have the option to
Mm-hmm.
renew this.
Mm-hmm.
We have the option to not renew this. If we didn't renew this, what's the option? To go out to bid for legislative?
We would have to vote, we would have to vote against it.
We'd have to vote against this, but I'm saying,
Mhm.
what are our options?
That would be the process.
That's what we always do. If we would have to, it would have to go out to bid, like we did,
Actually,
right?
it wouldn't be a bid, it would be.
Well, not a
the
bid,
first-
but,
A request
It'd
for
be an
proposal,
RFP.
yeah,
Because
RFP.
it's-
yeah. That's how we got our council in the first place.
Right. So
And that's
prior-
the process,
So,
for RFP.
I mean, as the fiduciaries of the
Mhm.
county, don't you think it's prudent to go out to bid and to see what's out there?
No, this is contained in the original contract,
This was
this
the-
one-year
I
extension.
understand that, but we
We're
have
not
an
breaking the contract.
I understand, well, we have an opportunity to request proposals, correct?
No, we
No.
still have this is just
What would
the,
happen if we didn't approve this?
this, it's my understanding, this is contained with the original contract. The contract that you have in your hand is the same one you've had in your hand for the last 3 years. With the caveat that there would be one-year extensions, and
What
it's
if we didn't
annually
extend it?
approved.
What if we did not extend it? What we're doing tonight is voting to extend it.
And you would go out for an RFP?
You would go out for an RFP, as we did in the past.
Okay. So wouldn't it be the fiduciary responsibility of you as the members of the Rules Committee to submit an RFP?
No, because.
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely, because this was original. It was 3 years and then 3 1-years. So this is
You
the
don't wanna look for a
this
new
is it.
attorney, I get it.
No, we don't.
I get it.
We don't.
I get it, but we've had,
Yes.
you know.
Thank you.
My personal opinion
Mhm.
is that it would be incumbent on you to look for, you know, to see what's out there.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of chaos. We've had a lot of chaos this year. You know, I came into this legislature during a time where this legislative attorney wrote a letter to my community opposing the safe storage law that I proposed and passed on a local level. I mean, this is the mission of this legislative council was, and the reason he was hired at that time I believe, by this legislature was because he was the NRA attorney. And I think we're at a different time now. And what I've seen this year is complete chaos between a dogfight between the county attorney.
I think we're getting
Yeah,
off
that's
track.
definitely off track. We're not,
So I think
no.
here.
And the answer is no.
I think I'm.
The answer
still
is no.
thinking.
Well, no, I think you're done. Yeah,
Lady, let her speak.
let her speak.
You're not controlling.
I'm the chair, I am controlling the meeting. I'm the chair. She wants to talk
She's
about,
recognized by the chair, she doesn't have the right
You
to
won't
speak.
Did you?
recognize. Let her
Well,
speak.
she was.
You're not recognized.
You're not, and you're not recognized.
No, I'm not, but I'm trying to tell you-
Nobody's recognized right now.
This is a dictatorship, and you don't
If
believe
that's what
in
you-
democracy. And we're just gonna continue the same old Putnam Club
Maybe-
Putnam regime, and let's keep hiring the same people to forward your mission, which is to make sure that we don't support our children, to make sure
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't
no.
support
That's ridiculous.
programs that
So
support,
ridiculous.
instead of
Okay,
making
yeah.
programs to support those who need help
Yeah.
for drug addiction, we're
You're
gonna.
so off the rails.
Yeah.
You're so off the rails.
Okay.
This is an extension of the same contract that we have for consideration on an annual basis. Well,
It's a mutual agreement, correct?
this is a, right.
Yes.
And I am happy to support this, and I think that we have the best legislative attorney we
I
could ever
agree.
ask for.
I agree. Anyone else? No? Okay, make a motion to approve the contract for legislative counsel. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Number 9 is a mission statement, which was adopted by the administration. Is there someone here that wants to speak on that?
Margie's
I
here.
see Margie. No? I see, yeah. So you've been working on a mission statement, I understand? Hey, you can. Can you all fit there? You could squeeze in. I have the mission statement here.
We're okay, we can stand, our guests can sit.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm Chris Winward. I'm the mayor in Nelsonville. I am one of the many members of our committee who came together over several months to review and update our current mission statement. It was a very great mission statement that Marjorie actually helped work on, held up for a very long time, but times change, we wanted to refresh it, and I was very grateful to be asked to be part of it. As the mayor of the smallest municipality in the county, I really appreciate and feel that it was really meaningful that the mission statement reflect and serve everyone in the county, and I think that it really does. The committee worked really earnestly over the course of many months to ensure a great statement that the public and county staff can really feel and reflect the role and importance of county government. The process for developing the mission statement, I think, was really collaborative, really we first reviewed the current mission statement. We reviewed mission statements of all the other counties in the state. We reviewed staff surveys that were undertaken about a year or two ago now. And we also asked for department head feedback because we felt it was really important to make sure that the state, that the staff were really bought into it and felt that it was reflective of the work that they do. That is so important. And I can just say personally, having led a rebranding process that included mission and vision statement in a former role of mine at St. Dominic's Family Services, we did this really efficiently and effectively and professionally at zero cost. And you know, as we all know, consultants get paid a lot of money to do this kind of work, and I felt that we did it really well and worked really well together. All of the it was a pleasure to work with Marjorie Keith, Frank Del Campo, all the administration and staff members who are all really great longtime public servants and really looked at this openly and refreshingly. So,
Great, well, thank you. Thank you for your hard work doing that. Thank you for coming out this evening.
Well done.
Through the chair,
Did-
I think Chris did a nice job. Summary.
somebody else want to speak?
Anyone else want to speak? Anyone else want to? No?
No?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
for
for
your hard work.
volunteering hard
And
work.
your volunteerism, legislative.
Thank
Very
you,
well
Desiree.
done.
Yes.
Thank you, too, for your hard work on this endeavor and for all the time that you put in and all the resources that you tapped to develop this. And I would ask that the chair read this into the record so the public can hear it.
It's long,
as
but I'm
well.
going to read it.
Well, you could read
No,
just
I
this.
know.
Just read it.
I have the mission statement
Oh,
right here.
okay.
I think that's the old one.
That's the old one.
The old
Yeah,
one's this one.
This one.
Oh, okay, I'm going to read the, I don't want to read the old one.
And the vision.
Okay, so the Putnam County government provides for the health, safety, and well-being of the public while upholding the laws of the United States, New York State, and the county. Our dedicated workforce is critical to meeting community needs, and we strive to deliver a fiscally responsible, accountable, and accessible government that serves everyone with transparency. By working in partnership with all levels of government and others, we are committed to providing services that will achieve the best possible outcomes for our residents. And our vision is that the county seeks to encourage community engagement, responsible economic growth, and a high quality of life for all residents through innovative and collaborative efforts. We aspire to be a vibrant and healthy community that values and nurtures Putnam County's natural beauty, rich history, cultural heritage, and most importantly, our people. Together, we seek to build a future that honors our past, embraces our present, and inspires generations to come. Very nice, very nice. Thank you. Legislator Goldman, do you want to?
You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Goes on for discussion, and we have, number 10 is FYI litigation report. Yes.
Is that something you want to vote on to amend the 2003?
Oh, it doesn't, it's not on here, though, for that. It just says
Sam.
Well, it's just discussion.
discussion. Yeah. Yeah.
I would.
Hmm?
I would approve it.
Just approve, make a
These ones were approved
Yeah.
by resolution.
Okay.
So
Okay, so make a motion to approve the new county mission statement.
should it go back on?
Should I, yes or no?
I think as we did before, the committee considered approve it in concept and then request that an appropriate resolution be sent to the legislature and
Okay.
considered by the.
Okay.
by the-
Mm-hmm. So we do it another time, okay.
Well, I could just draft it, because the
Oh, d-
resolution prior was just the mission statement itself, anyway.
Excuse me?
We have one available.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
But I was saying, we may have submitted a draft resolution, but for some reason it did not.
Okay.
It's just the mission statement.
Joking.
Whatnot, but I did draft.
Yes, that's true, so. We're just doing,
Motion to approve in
So
concept.
motion to approve in concept.
Motion to approve in concept the county mission statement. And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 11 is other business. Legislator Young.
It's not on other business, but before
Oh.
we close, I'd like to just make an announcement. Over the past couple of weeks, we have been live streaming our meetings as a test. We haven't put the button on the website until tonight. Tonight, we actually put the button. We didn't make an announcement ahead of time because we reached out, the staff reached out to IT, and we didn't get everything just nailed down. We think it worked well tonight. And here forward, we will be live streaming our meetings and announcing, we'll probably do a press release in the next day or two. But this meeting tonight
Oh,
was actually
it
live.
was.
You could have gone to, if you went to our webpage and hit the button, you would have live
Oh,
streamed it tonight.
okay.
We'll make an announcement. I think it worked.
It did.
It did.
I watched it.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dan, you're here.
I know, but I wanted it by.
I wish I knew. This is it.
That's
This
all I
is,
wanted.
okay, I didn't know, okay. I would have put more makeup on, no.
You skipped the litigation report on 10.
Yeah.
No, I said it. I said FYI.
My-
Okay, no, it's okay. No, I did FYI litigation, and then, okay. Oh, the business, oh, I'm sorry. Legislator Montgomery.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to thank the legislature and the chair. It's been 6 years since I've been requesting live streaming and dozens of memos and lots of back and forth and proposals, so I'm glad I kept pushing for it. I'm glad that we're on the way to being more transparent. Excuse me.
Congratulations on your live stream success.
I'm not sure why you had to interrupt me while I was in the middle of speaking.
Okay, other business, 11A. This is related to item 4E. Mike Lewis? This is a budgetary amendment, what we spoke about.
Wore a better tie then, if I would have known.
Yeah.
You're the one in your office.
That's true. Yeah, this is just, let me just go over here. I was asked to write a memo in regards to agenda item 4E and 4J, and this...
J or G?
G, I'm sorry, long day. Yeah, so budgetary 24A 116 is what we talked about, taking the 400,000 from the original golf course ARPA funding, using our capital reserve from the general fund and swapping out the funding and putting this 400,000 into what we'll change this, but into the paving contracts.
So transferring in and transferring out.
Correct.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Yeah, any?
Do we have a motion to accept the additional?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions? No, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay? Motion to accept. Motion to accept. Approval. Yeah. Motion to approve, I'm sorry, not accept, I'm sorry.
I was second.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Make a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.